I was really fortunate, because there were some amazing teachers that I had. But in fourth grade, I had this one teacher, Mrs. Baldwin, who whose son had gone traveling around the world, and he had taken pictures of famous universities. And something I think that was pretty, forward thinking of her was she showed a class some of the pictures of the universities he'd taken pictures of. And I lived in the desert. There was lots of brown to it. And when the picture of Stanford University showed up, and I saw the green lawns, and I saw the beautiful red tile roof and the limestone, I just blurted out, I want to go there. And I remember Mrs. Baldwin walking from her desk to my desk, and she looked at me, and she said, that's one of the best universities in the United States, or maybe even the world. Then she looked at me and she said, you can go there. And at 9 years old, fourth grade in Mrs. Baldwin's class, I said, I'm going to Stanford University. And I think I had that Girl Scout courage and confidence that I set that goal, and I knew I needed to break it down into smaller goals. When I was planning to go to college, I had been saving up money, and I had applied to schools all over the country. And I was so excited about that. I had been accepted to some pretty elite colleges. And right before it was time to select a college, my grandmother died, and she died far away, and there was no money to bury her. And so, we did what most Mexican families did, is we came together, and who had money is I had my college fund. And so I remember my parents and my dad going with me to the bank, and we waited for the bank to open, and I pulled out all my money for college and I handed it to my father. And so at that point I realized I was going to have to go to school in New Mexico, wasn't going to be able to afford to go out of state. And I was grateful New Mexico State had the program that I wanted, which is in industrial engineering. So, and I got a 4-year scholarship to that. But I never lost hope of going to Stanford, and so I had kept up my grades. I kept, putting that plan in place of what it would take to get to go to Stanford. And so I'm very grateful that after I graduated from college, I started a job at NASA Jet Proportions Lab, but I kept applying to go to Stanford, and I'm grateful that I was able to be selected. And I'm so proud of the fact that I did go to Stanford University and I did graduate from there.